Hello, my name is Mari Yamaguchi, and this is my short documentary on the deities of the world. So, the five religions I'm going to be talking about today is Daoism, Shinto, Hawaiian, Aboriginal, Australian, and Nigerian Yoruba. So, the first religion I'm going to be talking about is Daoism. What is it? Dao, it translates to the way, and it's composed of Yuan Jing, Yuan Qi, and Yuan Shen. And in English, it's supposed to translate to essence, breath, and spirit. So together, these three components, they make up the cosmic balance. Everything in nature it encompasses a piece of the Tao. Nature deities exist as the divine of natural phenomena. So, like heaven and earth, stars and planets, mountains and rivers, and so on. So, the Taoists, they influence the change in religion by implementing humans among these deities. So, these kinds of deities, they're known to have existed as humans before, but they didn't undergo the concept of death. So, for instance, there's Lao Tzu. He was a wise philosopher that became respected during the Han Dynasty, and he created the concept of Tao, actually. And so he became the personification of the Tao. Lao Tzu, he was also known as the father of medicine in ancient China. And he believed that for everything in the universe, the cosmic balance was brought about by qi. So, like, in that sense, if you had a fever, you would take some kind of medicine that counters against heat or hot. But qi consisted of these opposite forces that I'm talking about, and you can identify them as yin and yang. So, according to my professor, Li Lin Hall, who is a Chinese, or she teaches Chinese at the University of Nevada, Reno, ancient Chinese religion is often based off of historical politics. Hence, folklore was created as an extension. So, to the Chinese, when people go to heaven, nobody is on the same equal plane or on the same level. There's still a hierarchical society like there was in ancient China and how there is still now. So this is the Jade Emperor right over here. And these are all of his subjects. This is Lao Tzu, I believe, right here. And so the Jade Emperor, he is the ruler of the heavens and he oversees what happens on earth. He can be considered a deity, though he's separate from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, he was such a wise person that, according to famous folklore, it was said that he was experimenting or he was just trying to make the elixir of immortality. And when he cracked the code, he ascended into heaven on a crane. And in Asian culture, the crane, it represents longevity or immortality. However, because he was no longer of human form but immortal form, people worshipped him as a deity. Until this present day, Lao Tzu, he still has followers that practice his teachings. So I'm going to go back a few slides, and so these are Lao Tzu as well. The next religion I'm going to talk about is Shinto. Shinto, it's an animistic religion where, like the Tao, everything in nature is the transformation and creation of kami. So kami to the Japanese are not gods, but they're divine spirits. And this means that everything in nature encompasses a spirit. So, like rivers and mountains and trees. In his book, The Essence of Shinto, Yamakage, he uses the phrase, one is many, and many is one. I should like to interpret this as that the utmost goal is to create harmony and balance in the world. So it's, as you can see, there's some kind of comparison with Taoist beliefs, but the idea is that we should become one with the spirits of nature. And that by going against it, it creates more havoc and destruction. That I think that if we can care for the spirits of the natural world, they're kind of like our ancestors. And so since the relationship is reciprocal by Asian belief, they will also help to provide for us too. So this is the creation story of Izanagi and Izanami, and it was believed that they created the islands of Japan. Story goes, Izanami was hurt or was injured, and thus she descended into the underworld. And so Izanagi went to save her, but he became repulsed or withdrawn from her damaged, decomposing body. So he went to cleanse off in a stream, and in doing so, he created a new generation of kami, and their first being Amaterasu, which is a sun kami. She is, I believe, one of the more known deities because she is supposed to be the first ancestor of the imperial line. So this is Amaterasu, the sun kami. Kami are classified in 3 ways: Amatsukami, Kunitsukami, and Yaoyorozu no kami. So heavenly, earthly, and other. And so here's the charts from one of my favorite Shinto books, and it really describes the structure of all the primary deities. So these are the 5 heavenly kami, and then so 4, 5, 6, and 7, they kind of work together to unite heaven and earth. And so you can see number 4, it says that he generates energy of heaven and just sends it to earth, whereas number 7, Toyokumono no kami, he generates the energy of earth and then ascends it to heaven. And then 5 and 6, they're vice versa as well. And then kamis 8 through 15, these are the 8 earthly kami. And as you can see, number 16 and 17, that's Izanagi and Izanami. They're the creators, they're the earthly creators, and they're supposed to be the first descendants from heaven. And then Izanagi no Omikami and Amaterasu Omikami, they're supposed to be pretty much the first generation of earthly kami. So the next one will be Hawaiian religion. Hawaiian is another polytheistic religion where its deities are instead referred to as ancestors, much like Shintoism. Among them include Haumea, Kane, Lono, Ku, and Kanaloa. Haumea, she's one of the first originating gods before Kane. She's the mother, she's the matrix of life itself. She's the life force of all things living. Kane, he's the god of procreation, sunlight, and life sustainability. He is also the creator of heaven, earth, and the components within them. Ku, He's the deity of war, and he is worshipped during the summer season. And traditionally, they used to use human sacrifice for worship. Lono, he's the deity of peace, song, fertility, and agriculture. And he is respected during the months of October, or between the months of October and February. He is also the deity of natural phenomena, so like wind and rain and snow and so forth. Kanaloa, he's the god of the ocean and ocean winds, and so back in the olden days when the Hawaiians used to make voyages, he was believed to provide good travels or safe travels. Helehonuamea, she's the goddess of volcanoes. She's probably one of the greater known deities of the Hawaiian culture, primarily because Hawaii is such an active, or it has such an active volcano. And so she resides on Kilauea, and it is believed that she's the cause for eruptions and flows, as well as the craters and vents. Aboriginal Australian. So it portrays a rainbow state pregnant with all the animal tribes. So here's a snake, and I guess these are the different animal tribes within it. And so story goes that in the time of her birthing, she called upon these animals and threw the ground up and thus made mountains and hills, and she spilled water over the land and made rivers and lakes. She also created the sun and fire and all of the colors of the rainbow, and as a deity, the snake protects the land and its inhabitants. And so since she is the most mentioned and described in the dreaming, I would believe that she is one of the more primary ones in Aboriginal Australian. Nigerian Yoruba. So the Supreme Being is the ultimate life source present in everything, and he is the overarching god of African religions. All beings rely on this Supreme to renew and help to sustain their lives. So it also reincarnates other beings, and although this god in particular, he's not animistic, so it takes part in the elements of nature, but he does not represent any of the elements. And in a sense, he's similar to the Christian God. However, it's different as it has other non-human spirits that rank below him that play a vital role with the elements, and they are the animistic part of the religion. So they're believed to be 201 to 1700 of those kinds of gods in total, and among them include Chukwu, and she is respected as the wife or sister of the Supreme Being. She is the mother of all spiritual deities. And then there's Oshun. She's the goddess that's known to be the provider of everything. She holds the power of water, fertility, love, and purity and sensuality. And, well, that would be this would be my short documentary for the 5 different religions. Have a good one.